My name is Nora Thompson. I am the only daughter of Charles Thompson, a war veteran and respected businessman from Austin, Texas. After my mother passed away when I was 16, my father raised me and my older brother Jacob with deep values. He taught us about family, justice, sacrifice, and loyalty. I believed in those lessons with all my heart. I never imagined that one day, the person who shared my blood would use those values to destroy me. My father passed away after a long battle with liver failure. The final months were painful. He was in and out of the hospital. Weak, tired, but still trying to hold the family together. I was there for every appointment, every prescription refill, every quiet afternoon when he wanted someone to sit beside him in silence. Jacob. He visited occasionally. He was busy with his new real estate business and couldn't drop everything for what he called emotional moments. I didn't judge him for it. Not then. But I should have. After the funeral, Jacob called me and said we were meeting Dad's lawyer on Thursday. The way he spoke felt rushed. I asked if I should bring anything. He said no, just myself. I wore black, again. I sat in that cold office, my hands tight around my purse, while the lawyer read out our father's last will and testament. Everything had been left to Jacob. The family house that my father built with his own 2 hands. The savings account that included my college fund. The stocks and investment portfolio. The life insurance. Even the classic Dodge Charger that Dad promised me since I was 15. All of it was signed over to Jacob. I thought it was a mistake. I smiled awkwardly and looked at the lawyer. Maybe he had the wrong will. Maybe there were pages missing. Maybe he meant to say we were sharing everything. But Jacob sat still, his hands folded, his eyes locked on the floor. Not a single word came from him. I tried to speak but my throat closed up. My heart was racing. The lawyer, looking slightly embarrassed, said, according to the updated will dated just 4 months before Mr. Thompson's passing, everything has been transferred to Jacob Thompson. 4 months ago was exactly when I had been pushed away. Jacob had insisted I take a break from caregiving because I was getting too emotional. He said I needed time to grieve before Dad was even gone. At the time, I believed him. He was my big brother. He said he would handle things. That Dad was confused lately. That the medications made him angry and forgetful. He told me to go to my boyfriend in Arizona and take a week or 2 off. While I was gone, Jacob had Dad sign new documents. He told Dad lies. Said I had moved away for good. That I had abandoned the family. That I didn't care about the house or the money. That I was planning to sell the estate and use the money for my own freelancer lifestyle. He had poisoned our father's mind, and when Dad was too sick to understand legal papers, Jacob made him sign the updated will. I found all this out later. At the time, all I could do was sit in that office, holding back tears, while my brother walked out without even looking at me. That night, I cried in my car for hours. The betrayal ran deeper than any pain I had felt in my life. Not just because of the property, but because my father, the man I sat beside through pain and fear, had been convinced that I didn't care about him. My brother stole that final image of me from him. But I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I just waited. And I planned. I started collecting things. I still had voicemails from Dad telling me he loved me. Emails thanking me for making his soup the night he was sick. Photos of us at the hospital. Cards he wrote me. One letter, handwritten and smudged, said, "You and Jacob will share everything. Don't let him push you away." That letter became my anchor. I visited the lawyer again and asked for a review of the signature on the new will. It looked shaky, different from Dad's usual writing. But since Dad was ill, it couldn't be proved as forged without expensive court analysis. I didn't have money for a legal fight. Jacob had it all. So I turned to something stronger than lawyers. The truth. I reached out to a local reporter named Dana who worked for the Texas Truth, an independent news site. I told her everything. I gave her proof, voice recordings, photographs, old letters, and the full story of what Jacob did to our dying father. She didn't need convincing. She saw the pattern and ran the story within days. The headline hit hard. "Daughter Betrayed. How a Dying War Veteran's Son Erased His Sister for Greed." Within hours, the story went viral. People from all over Texas started sharing it. Readers were furious. They left hundreds of comments calling Jacob a snake, a thief, a disgrace. His clients began canceling deals. Real estate boards removed his photo from the website. Veterans groups that once honored Dad began distancing themselves from Jacob. His office was vandalized with red spray paint. The word thief was painted across the glass doors. Still, I didn't speak to him. But then, Jacob came to see me. He looked thin and nervous, a shadow of the man who once walked so confidently into the lawyer's office. He held an envelope and asked to talk. I let him speak. He apologized. Said he panicked after Dad got sick. That he felt entitled as the older son. That he didn't think I'd ever fight back. He handed me a new legal document. It was a partial property transfer. He was offering me 40% of the estate. I could have taken it. I could have accepted his apology and closed the chapter. But I didn't. I told him no. I didn't want his money. I didn't want what was left. Because by then, I had already opened something better. With help from community donations that poured in after the article, I opened a support center for women who had been cheated out of their inheritance. Women like me who were disowned, cut out, or pushed aside after their parents' death. The center offered legal advice, emotional support, and temporary housing for those in need. I named it Charles's Daughters. And every time I walk into that building, I see my father's photo on the wall. The real him. The man who believed in justice and fairness. The man Jacob tried to erase. Jacob kept the house, the car, and the money. But I kept the name. And the legacy. And every day, I watch women walk into that center with fear in their eyes and walk out with strength in their step. That is the inheritance I needed. Jacob will spend the rest of his life running from shame. He will never restore the respect he lost. And he will never get another chance to rebuild what he destroyed. As for me, I smile every time someone says, "You're Charles's daughter." Because now the world knows